Meeting has started. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning, and thank you for coming to the monthly membership
morning.
meeting for the Chatham Business Association. Can we have a few house rules? I mean, of course, all of you have done virtual meetings by this point 1,000 times. If we could just make sure that everyone is muted. If you are a participating, of course, we will bring you in as you're introduced. But if we can keep everyone muted so that we can have a seamless and cohesive meeting, I would very much appreciate it. Looks like we have a pretty decent crowd here today. I am so glad to be back in the folds of the CBA. Just bear with us a little bit today. I'm trying to catch up. But first and foremost, again, thank you again for joining us for our for our monthly membership meeting. As always, we are always bringing forth some really good speakers. I think you will really be charged and energized by the people that are going to be speaking, going to hear some real positive experiences that they've had. So we're just going to get right going. As we start our meeting, we always start with just a moment of silence. And I say that I do that because it's always a good time to reflect. We are always in a hurry going from one place to another, but it's always a good time to reflect, regardless of your religious situation or whether you're not religious. But sometimes you just need to just pause and do a woosah moment. And the morning time is the best time for that. For me, I can't speak for you, but for me, it's the best time to do that. So if we just take a quick moment and just woosah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so for those of you who don't know me, I'm Gwen Shaw, and on the executive board with the Chatham Business Association. I'll be facilitating today. We do have a lot of people in here. I'm gonna give everyone an opportunity to say who you are. If you are a member, please state that. If you're not, that's okay. We just wanna know who you are. If you're on the phone, please identify yourself so we'll know who's in the room. And I think that's extremely helpful, especially since this is the Chatham Business Association. We have a lot of networking that can go on after the meeting or during the meeting. So feel free to let us know who you are. Be brief because we don't have the whole day to do all of the, intros and everything, but just go ahead and tell us who you are and if you're who you represent, your business, the company, and whether or not you're a member. I am going to start with the person that is in my face right now, Mr. Greer. If you are a speaker, I'm sorry if I'm introducing you. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Greer.
No, you're fine. And good morning to you. My name is Delonte Greer. I'm a financial planner with Opulentia. We are an independent RIA, which means that we work for no one, but work with everyone. And I was invited here by the board, just listening in, seeing how we can collaborate.
That is awesome. I think I need to change my view because I can't see everyone. So let me see. I'm gonna call out some people. How about, let me see, Vanessa.
Oh. Good morning, everyone. I'm Vanessa Teleferro at V Business Consulting Inc. And I am part of the Community Navigators Program. So you guys will hear from me a little later in the meeting.
Thank you and welcome, Vanessa. How about you, Miss Rachel Hawkins?
So Rachel works
with Chatham Business Association. I'm sorry, Rachel.
I know you can't hardly see the whole. We got Frida. Frida, you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you.
Yep. Hello, everyone. Hey, Melinda and everyone, Gwen, Jennifer, and Miss Beverly, and Charles, everyone. I'm Frida, and hello, everyone. I'm Frida Madison, owner of Madison Enterprises Incorporated with my husband. We're property managers, and we own property in Chatham, and we are members. Thank you.
Good to see you, Frida. How about Ted? Ted, I see you there.
Great morning, everybody. My name is Ted Hollander. I'm a CPA here in Chicago. My business is Complus Incorporated. We are professional controllers. We enable business owners to understand the business so they can run the business without feeling blindfolded. I'm connected with Cole and Aces Business Network Affair and 95th Street Business Association, among others. I've been a member of the Illinois CPA Society for well over 50 years. So you always pay for good accounting, one way or another.
That is so true, Ted. Every time you say that, that resonates with me. How about you, Miss Kim New?
Good morning, everyone. Hey, Gwen, welcome back. I've missed
Hey,
you.
miss
My
you
name
too.
is Kim New. I'm the community liaison for the Cook County State's Attorney's Office.
Great to see you. And Melinda, you could help me out here. Corey Dooley.
He's presenting too, but I see
Okay,
Jeanette.
he's presenting. Okay, then Anthony, is he presenting? Anthony Burkett.
He's muted. You want to unmute yourself, Anthony?
Anthony, we just asking you that you introduce yourself. That's all. We'll come back to you. We'll circle back to you. Jeanette, is it Jeanette Winston?
Janae,
Janae, my bad. I'm sorry.
no problem. Janae Winston. Hi, everyone. Good morning. I am the CEO for Sweet Pies by Janae, and we do more than just pies. We do other sweets as well. Thanks for
Sweet
having me.
To sample some of your culinary delights. Thanks for joining us.
I
Thank you
like
so
the
much.
name, Sweet Pies. Should I
Yeah.
introduce Malcolm?
Nope.
Malcolm Crawford?
Nope.
Is
We
Malcolm
got
speaking today?
yes. Delante.
Delante went first.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Okay. How about,
Simone. Miss Simone.
go ahead. Thank you. We just
Hi,
want you to, go
Yeah.
ahead. I'm sorry.
and here's Oliver.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah,
Hi.
we are Gunk Be Gone. We own a pressure washing and graffiti removal company here in Chicago. We are also members of the Chatham Business Association. And good morning, Melinda.
Good morning.
Good morning. Go ahead, Melinda.
Let's see. I see
Is it
iPhone.
Larry McCullum?
Thanks. Sorry. Yeah.
Larry, if you would unmute yourself and introduce yourself, please. Or Anthony, either of you, Anthony Burkett or Anthony Beckham.
Good morning, everyone. Anthony Beckham, Director of Community Engagement Outreach for FH Passion. We are a general contractor. Good morning, Melinda and team.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
We have someone on the iPhone. I have no name attached to it. Okay. Anyone else that's not a speaker?
Maurice Johnson, CBA member, owner, president of Antares Computer Systems. I resell new computer products and cybersecurity products.
Wonderful. All right. Sorry, we're working trying to get these multi-screens going. So I think if you want to chime in and introduce yourself, in meantime, in between time, I'm going to ask the staff if we miss somebody, but can the staff just briefly say hello and say your name?
Good morning. My name is Gloria Jenkins. I am with the Workforce Development Department at Chatham Business Association.
Thank you, Gloria.
Well, good morning. Hi, guys. I'm Beverly Nall Holman, and I am the Executive Assistant, the Certification Specialist, Program Manager. I know most of you all, probably everyone on this call. So hello, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. Charles Edwards, IT Program Manager, Chatham Business Association.
Good morning, everybody. Lorinda Chandler. I am the office manager for the Chatham Business Association.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Keena Robinson. I'm the owner of the Flawless Cleaning Service. I just joined.
Hi, Keena.
Thanks for joining us, Ms. Keena.
Hello, everybody. Jennifer Atkins.
Interim Executive Director, Chatham Business Association, and Marketing Specialist. Welcome.
Rachel? She was on there. Okay.
She typed it in the chat.
All righty. So Gwen, we'll turn it back over to you. Uh-oh, did we lose her? Gwen, you're muted.
Sorry. I was saying that I'm going to pass the torch to Jennifer because I do not have any speaker information. So I think it would be better for her to handle this portion of the meeting.
Sure. Absolutely. So what we're going to do to introduce the speakers. So as you know, these are the you can bring up the spoke flyer, and then we'll bring up the video. So what we have for you today, everyone, are the 5 spokes that make up the spoke team for the Chatham Business Association, SBA, which is Small Business Administration, Community Navigator team. So each of these people, as you know, in the business community, they have the strengths that each area of business strengths that each business would need to have. So this is why we picked this team to represent us in the SBA Navigator team. So we're going to present a video, and that video is going to serve as the sort of introduction for each one, because we didn't want to have an introduction for each one, but I think the video will serve that, and that's going to follow right now, and let's key it up.
Are you speaking? Yeah.
So as I put in the chat, as Charles is gearing that up, just remember that this was a pilot program that is due to expire at the end of this year. This pilot program allowed CBA to waive our small business membership and really give you robust services as offered by this team in form of business development, workforce development. So we really encourage you to take advantage of this program before its pilot's program expiration date
is over. Okay, I can't see anything. And also, Bruce has a hard stop at 10, so we're going to let him go first, if that's okay with AAA BNA.
Well, since we're having a problem with the video.
There it is. Okay.
So join me in giving them all a round of applause with your reaction and your claps, because they really have been working really hard this year, in addition to still where they're based with all their other programs and being where they need to be and representing the SBA Navigator program, but they all also do very important work in their communities, which is why we chose them. So You said Bruce has to go. I know Malcolm has to go too. So who's going first?
Bruce can go ahead. Bruce can go first.
I don't see him in there, but Bruce? Is he
Bruce?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, Bruce. So Bruce Montgomery.
All right. Thank you very much. We'll be brief. I think there's enough time to get everybody in. I know Malcolm is moving and traveling, as am I. But first of all, it is with great humility and great gratitude that I'm happy and delighted to be part of this effort. I encouraged Melinda Kelly to go after this very unique opportunity and to step outside of our comfort zone and just doing what we've been doing for a very long time at the local level and rise up to take advantage of this very important national effort. And because of her leadership and Vanessa and everybody coming together, it's not easy to win these very competitive grant situations. This is no gift from the federal government. This is just an invitation to do more work. And being involved with government programs and all of the challenges of both securing the opportunities and delivering the opportunities is not an easy task behind the scenes. And so it's really hats off to this dynamic team at the Chatham Business Association who had the tenacity and the capacity to bring this illustrious group together for the purposes of really doing what we all so passionately do on a regular basis. This is not a Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 situation. This is really something that all of us breathe, sleep, and bleed our interest in supporting economic development and business development in our community. And this was a chance to secure support for that work. So as Melinda said earlier in our call, we've been scrapping and fighting and clawing to stay on board with this program. And now it looks like we may even have a couple of extra months to do this program. And so it's really important for the businesses that are here today. If you haven't already taken advantage of this unique activity with the SBA Community Navigator Pilot Program, I suggest you please do. We have gathered a august series of experts across a range of areas, from business development to consulting to financial coaching and counseling, helping clients secure grant capital, lending support. Of course, CBA has a long track record and history of finding financial institutions that support our businesses in our community. And this gives you a chance to have the technical assistance and the pre-packaging that makes those loan applications and grant applications have a better chance of winning. This is still a phenomenal time to be an entrepreneur in the city of Chicago, state of Illinois, United States of America. There are some exciting opportunities. It is still a fight. It is something that is not easy whatsoever. As we know, the Supreme Court ruling and other rulings have federal and state and national programs under attack for trying to be equitable and inclusive. And so this just lets you know the environment that we're in. It is a challenging environment, but I believe this team is up to the task, and our entrepreneurs are winning. They are getting business. We know there's business here at the local, the state, county, and federal level. Activities like the Red Line extension, activities like O'Hare Airport, activities like Project Create, which is an ongoing project. So there are billions of dollars in infrastructure money. There's more money coming towards the state of Illinois in areas of technology and innovation, especially around clean energy and the CEJA program. And so these are the kinds of things that this group has been paying attention to. And I've had the good pleasure during this course of these last 2 years to have some phenomenal successes. Unfortunately, we won't be able to show many of the successes that we have in the short time that we have today. but a couple I wanted to mention particularly that I've been able to work with over the last 2 years. One is an organization that I've been involved with for a long period of time, but I brought them into the Navigator Pilot Program. It's an organization called Urban Tech Academy, founded by one Patrick Zaki Young. And this is an organization that does technology training, especially with our young people, both in school and out of school, young adults, helping to get certified in the IT skills that are most demand today, cloud services, cybersecurity services. And over the course of me working with them and consulting and coaching and mentoring and encouraging them, they have just been able to move into a new facility that they are building out as we speak, right in Chatham. It's going to be located at 85th and State Street, right down from where the Magic Kiss sign used to be. And they're building out a training center that will allow them to expand their services to help African Americans get into the IT ranks and deliver high quality services. Their plan is not only to do the education and training, but also to have a call center and tech support center right here in our own community. So I'm delighted that the Urban Tech Academy has been so steadfast and also found the opportunity to locate and expand their facilities in the heart of the Chatham community. Another company that I want to speak of that I've been able to really just stand back and watch as they have negotiated some phenomenal participations, and really you're going to hear about this company in a very big way. I know the CEO may be able to come on a little bit later today. I think he's been trying to log in. His name is Antonio Burketh. He's attended a number of our meetings, and he is quite excited about his firm. They are pursuing, even in the midst of all of these challenges, a federal SBA 8A designation, but they're right at the cutting edge of the energy activity. They have some giant plans to build energy delivery capability throughout our community, from Harborside on the south side of Chicago down through Woodlawn, and then also working on a project at McCormick Place where they're involved with the actual building, development, and implementation of a microgrid, which is a power capacity that goes along with the utility to make sure that high impact clients like the universities and like others have 24/7 access and less outages and more resilient electrical infrastructure. So I hope Tony Burketh will be able to join us, because this is going to be a tens of millions of dollars worth of opportunity, and they're right in line with support from the state of Illinois commitment and energy advancement, and also some of the federal programs from the Department of Energy and others. So those are just two examples of the kinds of companies that we've been able to attract to the Navigator Pilot Program, companies that are creating jobs, expanding the workforce, building infrastructure in our community, and at the cutting edge of new areas of the economy that are really making a difference. And I see Tony Burketh just is he may, again, Jennifer, if you have a chance to call him up later, he may say a few words about his company, Cypher McKinney. You're going to hear a lot about them in the coming months, and they have been a full participant in our Navigator Pilot services. And with that, I'll just step aside and let my phenomenal cohort, Malcolm Crawford, come on and really just further exemplify the quality of this team that Melinda has assembled. It's really an outstanding team, and I'm delighted to be a part of this Navigator process.
Bruce, Tony said he's having some technical difficulties, so maybe he can, you're right. Maybe he can get on later.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hey, thank you, Bruce, for that presentation. This is Corey with AAA BNA. Hey, can somebody give me sharing capabilities? I just have a few slides that I want to share as Malcolm presented. And then whenever you get the capabilities, if you could let me know, I'll start screen sharing.
Yeah, you got them.
Okay, got you.
Okay. All right, we get
Before you
Corey.
do that, Corey.
I would like to bring to you officially and Mr. Malcolm Crawford. Malcolm is the executive director.
All right. And I want to thank you guys again for just this opportunity. This has been a great ride, a lot of fun. It's not often that you can stay in business and having fun, but right there to that one. This was a good time. And if you guys look, this is when Black Wall Street met Soul City. And the Chatham Business Association businesses got an opportunity to go to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and actually really start to forge relationships outside of just Chicago. And that was definitely due to the relationship with CBA and SBA. So it was really good. I a little bit about happening. So we've been working on Soul City. And so with Soul City, we just won the Illinois Architectural Award for the development. And looking at its model of how to take a 1 mile radius, Chicago Avenue, and create a thriving business district. With that, we have been doing a lot. And so we're finding ways to bring people into the corridor. And it's just been such a blessing because CBA has been right there with us. Melinda doesn't just talk the talk, but she walked, and her people were participating. And so our chili cook-off has just started to grow and grow and grow. And we had 100 people through Soul City. It's called Chili in Soul City. And so that was our chili cook-off. And because we're a networking organization, this is what we drive people together. And then the second picture you can see here, just back in the middle, and the deputy mayor. But they were there at our Austin Power 5K, bring people to the pool. We had close to 800 people to come and see Chicago Avenue, jog and exercise and do on Avenue. And then Act Yoga, the only Black-owned yoga shop. We just opened Austin, as well as Urban Essential Coffee Cafe. Spill the beans. So there we are, cutting that ribbon, which was a couple. Next. And we're just excited. Now, the young man there that's standing there in the picture with Royals Chicken, that's Mr. Gus Riquette. And I tell people at his 90th birthday, he put his arm around me and he said, I'm not leaving this earth until I have a place in Soul City. This is 7 years later. He's 97 years old. And last week, Royals Chicken in Soul City. So we were just really excited to be there with him. And yesterday, we have the first Black-owned Culver's restaurant to open up on Chicago Avenue, franchise on the corridor. And this is just a few of the businesses that we've been able to bring resources to. The good thing about it, we've been able, and I really can't say enough about Beverly, because what Beverly does, when we get stuck or whatever it is that we don't do, we call Beverly. Beverly makes it happen. She sends people wherever they need to go. Can't say enough how she helps us to look even better. Work that with. Next. And I think that's it. And so that's just a few of the things that we're doing over here on Chicago Avenue, and bringing in businesses. And I have learned so much and got to experience so much. I get calls from Page County. I get calls from other places that we would have never been able to touch. And it's not just, even though we are Austin's African American Business Networking Association, been able to touch so many people. While I was here, I thought about Justine, and Justine actually introduced me to a young lady. I think the young lady was either in Haiti or she was in another part of the country in promotion. That relationship would have never happened if it wasn't for CBA and this SBA navigate. So there's a saying, when spider webs unite, they can stop an elephant from charging. And so I believe this is a spider web coming together, being able to send people to people like Ro, who young men who come through here, and you can just sit them there and tell them, you can make it. And this is the guy that's going to help you navigate through this process. And so we're just excited about this work. We're excited. And if this program doesn't continue, I will continue to partner with everybody here because I've had a great experience and we've learned a lot and we still got a lot of work to do. So we got 31 million in streetscape happening right now on Chicago Avenue for Soul City. There's also going to be an arch just like Greektown and Chinatown and all those things. We're finalizing the arch that's going up across the street. So it will be the Soul City Gateway. And so a lot of good things happening. And I don't think most of this would have happened without the support of my friend and my uno aficionado, Miss Melinda Kelly.
Thank you, Malcolm. I'm crying.
And also, we would be remiss if we didn't thank Malcolm's wonderful team, Eric, Corey. I mean, I don't know who else is on there. And as you said, you know, Beverly, she internally and externally working with the businesses and keeping us on point. Her work has really, by the SBA standards, made us rise to the top simply because we were able to touch and bring businesses to their attention that they just didn't know was here. So good job on that effort. Gwen, who's next?
I'm gonna defer that to Jennifer.
So who's next, Jen?
Hey, Jennifer, you're muted.
I'm sorry, I was muted, guys. Vanessa of ADV. Vanessa can bring her presentation up.
All righty.
Looking so beautiful today.
Gorgeous.
You know, when I leave here, I got to go do another presentation in person. All right. ADV Business Consulting, Inc. We want to, first of all, just thank Chatham Business Association for considering our firm in helping to provide technical assistance and coaching to small businesses throughout the Chicagoland area. You can advance the slide. Who we are? Well, actually, we are a mother-daughter team, proud to say, with a mission to assist nonprofit organizations and small businesses with the administrative and financial tools needed to operate a successful business. And our vision is to create equitable access to resources for underserved businesses. And what we have found in our line of work, that whether you're a small business or nonprofit organization and minority-led, there's always barriers to resources. And what our company does is we strive to help you develop the infrastructure, processes, and prepare you to either apply for grant opportunities or become what we consider bankable, not just putting your money in the account, but establishing relationships with bank where they can consider investing into your business. You can advance the slide. So some of the services that we offered under the SBA program, we did a couple of new business startups, in particularly a few construction companies, help people establish some LLCs for some service businesses. We help define and create capability statements, which is in general terms, is just like your business resume. It highlights your strengths, your areas in which you provide services. It's just like a one-page resume of who you are. It speaks to your impact and the type of services that you can deliver to procurement officers. Business plans. With the business plans, we've reviewed a few. We've actually wrote a few for some of the clients, helping you to understand your market, your customer segmentation. The biggest part for a lot of plans, and everything that we do is creating the financial projections, making sure they're feasible, realistic, and putting those financial documents together, which in turn moves us to the financial statement review. My background is I was a former commercial loan officer, so I kind of have some insight. I think a lot of the practices are still the same when I was doing it maybe 15, 20 years ago, but I just still have used that expertise in helping clients to understand what banks are looking for, how to read your financial statements, the importance of having financial statements. I heard somebody on here before saying with an accountant, you're gonna pay now or pay later. I urge you to pay now to make sure your books are in order. And that's one of the areas which our business help with this coaching is a lot of times people come to us and they don't have a separate bank account for personal expenses, business expenses, everything all convoluted. We have a couple of situations, people don't even have a bookkeeping system set up. So, even if we help people establish QuickBooks or something just to get going and making sure that you are, allocating the business transactions of the business, because the things that you have to produce as a business, financial statements, the things that banks look for, you want to be able to generate those on a moment's notice. And as a business owner, being able to understand your financial health. So we help you determine where you are, where you want to be, and put those systems in place. Bids and procurement, this is probably bids and procurement and business grants, probably what we're best known for with grant writing, helping our clients respond to bid opportunities, whether it's federal, state, or city, and also identify business grants that may be available to the small business owners. There's been a lot of Black-owned business grants available and women-owned business grants available. So we've been kind of identifying those and helping clients to put together a response to those grant opportunities. And then construction contracting. We've been working with some minority construction firms to help with one of the things, bidding on contracts, and then also managing that process, understanding how to do the paperwork in regards to the sworn contractor statements, making sure you're getting your lien waivers and things of that nature, which is very detailed. And sometimes, and what we've learned with a lot of business owners, they just don't have that backroom support. So our company has been able to assist in that area. Okay, advance the slide, please. So I just want to highlight some of our successes this year. We helped the business owner apply for city and state funding for a total of $1.25 million to expand her business. When I say help, I mean, we actually got the award for her. So, and it's part of Malcolm's Corridor over there, the TNC Fitness. We've highlighted them with the SBA for their work that they're doing in the community. So they're going to be opening up their own fitness center, hopefully sooner than later, probably first quarter of 2024. So we're proud of our work there. And on a construction company, we helped prepare a bid, and we actually was awarded a contract for $1.6 million for a construction company that I've been assisting. And each month, we're helping to make sure that the sworn contractor statement and lien waivers are tight and right so that they can get that payment in. And then we helped the service agency win a state contract. And this was actually a bid in Tennessee that we helped him prepare the bid response, and he was a winner there. And then lastly, this is just new. About 2 weeks ago, we found out one of our clients secured a working capital loan for $450,000. So, hey, that gets to be submitted to the SBA for one of our wins on one of our final reports. So this is just 4 clients that we've assisted. I wanted to highlight. So as you can see, we're in the dollars. We're trying to help you grow your business by making sure that you have the capital that you need to grow and to be sustainable. And next slide, last slide. Forward thinking, what are we thinking about in 2024? I heard Bruce talk about the clean energy opportunities, state and federal levels. I just actually with some of my nonprofit clients, just submitting a clean energy sector grant to the federal government that we're hoping we're going to win for $5.75 million. So we want to prepare businesses. The state has, as Bruce highlighted, the CEJA. So there's opportunities for minority contract business owners to build that capacity and to be able to apply for some of these bid opportunities. And hopefully you will consider ADV Business Inc. as a partner that can come along and help you build out your infrastructure and provide that technical assistance. And another thing we want to do is to continue to help business owners seek capital. You know, I don't know if we have any of our bank partners on here, but you know, you can read interest rates are increasing, and sometimes, you know, banks will tighten their credit their credit criteria, and they begin to tighten and don't lend as much. So we want to make sure that you have things in place so that you can qualify for loans. I actually had a conversation maybe about 3 weeks ago with a CDFI, say, hey, we got the money, but we need business owners who are prepared, who have their paperwork in order, who can get some of this money. We have it, we just can't lend it out. And then lastly, we want to help businesses develop growth plans, help you establish your KPIs, your key performance indicators, and help you put systems in place to measure that. So if you have a goal, we want to help you get to that goal and define those strategic steps that you need to implement and execute in order for you to reach your goals. So every business needs to be thinking about, where do I want to be in 2024? And so we can help you lay out a plan for that. And so last page is how you can contact us. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram. You can send an email to info@advconsultingbiz.com. You can also go to our website and set up an intake for a meeting, or you can reach us by phone, 331-701-6771. So thank you for this time and opportunity, and I hope to hear from some of you soon.
Great. Thank you, Vanessa. That was awesome. So next up, we will have Justine. Are you ready?
I apologize. I want to mention we do have one of our banking partners, board members, Carl Riley, is on. Carl, can you hear me? Vanessa was saying she didn't know if any of our financial institutions were on, but he's on. I don't think he can hear me. Just want to acknowledge him. Sorry, keep going, Jennifer.
Sure. Without further ado, Justine. Okay.
Are you putting up the slideshow?
Yeah, Charles is, yeah.
There we go. Okay, great. Hi, everyone. My name is Justine Beat Espos. I am the Executive Director of Torito Arts, NFP. We also have a function with media that we call Torito Media, but moving right along, Charles, next slide, please. There we go. So Torito Arts is an organization that really focuses on creating platforms that highlight equity, diversity, and inclusion in the arts. Many of you probably don't know the art space very well, but it is an incredibly white, upper middle class dominated industry that has for a very long time not made much space for artists of color, for women, for differently abled artists. And so we've been fighting that tooth and nail because we believe wholeheartedly that it's only when we begin to see ourselves reflected in society that we can attain true social equity and justice. And so a lot of our projects often work within that space of how the arts can impact social equity and justice. So you might be asking, why is an arts organization involved in this project? I think this sort of was born out of the fact that as an arts organization, arts industry was one of the most heavily impacted during the pandemic. And usually we'll see arts industry be one of the first industries to suffer and one of the last industries to come back from a period of financial instability. And this is despite the fact that we are one of the largest industries in the American economy. We hire hundreds of thousands of people across the country. We keep them employed. It's an industry of immense amounts of money going back and forth, but we function a little bit differently than traditional industries, right? We function heavily with grants, with sponsorships, with types of funding that don't really occur so much in other industries. And so my interest in working with the SBA on the Community Navigator program came from the fact that I knew so many artists, particularly artists of color, not only didn't apply for pandemic funding, such as the PPP and the EIDL, they didn't even know that they could opt into that because the SBA did not make it explicitly clear that that these types of organizations, nonprofits, independent contractors could opt into that funding. And so sadly, I learned about so many artists and so many organizations that didn't even apply for those types of help. So when I saw that the SBA was creating the Community Navigator program, I said, I really have to get into this to advocate for the industry that I work with and to advocate for all of those artists, specifically artists of color, female artists, LGBTQ artists, who really were not included in the messaging for a lot of this pandemic funding and who sadly suffered immensely. We are still feeling the repercussions of the pandemic in arts industry. So next slide, please, Charles. Thank you. With the CBA, we decided to do roadshow events this past year in 2023. And I think they sort of sum up really well what Dorito Arts was trying to do with arts community. We did 2 events that I led. One was in Rockford, Illinois. I can say that thanks to the arts, I have become very ingrained with the art scene in Rockford, not the standard art scene, but the art scene involving artists of color predominantly in Rockford. And I know that it's a very depressed community in the state of Illinois. So I talked to the CBA early on in this process and said, hey, do we need to focus only on Chicago or can we go to other cities? And from that interest in continuing to work with Rockford, the CBA has done a number of projects in Rockford where I think we've all determined that the need is extremely high, where we see communities of color that I think are even more disenfranchised than we tend to see in Chicago. And just people who really feel very lost when it comes to finding organizations that can help them achieve their business goals. One of the roadshow events that I led in Rockford was the Grow Your Arts business event, where we simply talked about GATA and SAM certification, prospecting grants, understanding that loans, especially for arts businesses, are not always the best option, and understanding bidding for government contracts and that sort of thing. I did this in collaboration with the Rockford Park District, who I'm really happy to say have really taken an interest in communities of color in Rockford and who are so open and available to involving the community in these types of events. And so they've been a great partner through so many projects that Dorito Arts has done. And in Pilsen here in Chicago, I ended up leading the same presentation, but in Spanish. I am fully bilingual, and that will come into play a little later in the presentation, because I did end up doing things that I wasn't expecting to do thanks to my language skills. But I was really pleasantly surprised to go to Pilsen and find, newly arrived Americans who were really intent on representing their home culture here in Chicago, and who were not or did not want language barriers to stop them from being able to share their arts or their artisanship in the city. And so, you know, I feel like I've even grown to understand these communities even better through this program. And then I've included APAP NYC. APAP is the Association of Performing Arts Professionals. It is, I would say, the largest organization that sort of encompasses performing arts professionals. And when I was there, I was part of a group of Latinx professionals, and I spoke during our meeting time with them. Again, it was kind of like, as soon as I started talking about, hey, for free, I can help you guys understand grant prospecting on the federal, state, and local level. I can help you get your certification so that you can actually opt into this kind of grant funding. I think everybody immediately threw their business cards at me. So I cannot express the amount of need that exists out there, particularly with communities of color. So next slide, please. Thank you. So I just want to go through some of the 3 businesses and business owners that I worked with the most throughout this process. I'm really happy to say all 3 of them were women of color. So I'm going to start with Maria Concepcion. She is the CEO of Global Contractors. It's a business that provides deep cleaning, sanitation, organization, packing and unpacking services. Maria is an extremely motivated person. She actually retired from being an educational administrator and teacher in Chicago, predominantly working with Latinx students. And she started this business a little later in life than people usually start businesses, but she has an amazing amount of energy. And she's extremely driven. And so I helped her with multiple grant applications. She really wanted to begin bidding on public jobs, and was a little bit lost with that process, especially since it was all online. Some people have more trouble doing a lot of these things online. So I helped her with a lot of those bidding processes and purely understanding and navigating those systems where you have to input all of this information in order to submit it, as well as helping her sort of plan this bid budgeting. You have to give that really comprehensive bid budget, and sometimes that can also be really overwhelming to navigate. So it's good to have somebody that's sitting with you to help you remember, hey, how much of this are you going to need? How often are you going to use it? How much money should you put towards that? And then certification. So I'm happy to say that Maria now has certification as a woman-owned business. She is still working on getting minority-owned business certification as well. It is a very long and challenging process. So, busy business owners can only dedicate so much of their time to it. Next slide, please. Cristina Vasquez is the director of Contenidos Artísticos. It's a company that she started in Mexico, and when she immigrated to Chicago, continued to do the same kind of work. They do production work in the performing arts. I actually met her through this Latinx chat or talk at the APAP conference. And Christina is, because she's very new to the country, is also very new to all of the government systems that exist to help the arts. So we started meeting to talk about federal grant prospecting, understanding grants.gov, understanding the certification process for SAM and GATA. And through these meetings that we would have to sort of go through all of this material and understand it and help put together her certification applications, she started telling me about projects that she had that were cooking and that she really wanted to bring home. And one of those was producing the United States as the guest of honor at the Festival Internacional Cervantino in Guanajuato, Mexico. This is one of the most important performing arts festivals in the world. I was very well aware of its existence before I met Cristina. And she was working with the National Endowment for the Arts and a couple of universities here in the US to present American artists at the festival because the US was selected as the guest of honor for this year in this 2023 edition of the festival. And so she was really worried because she is a for-profit business and was having a lot of trouble because the NEA and the State Department did not want to pay out funds to, or could not, I should say, could not pay out funds to a for-profit business. She really kind of dabbled in throwing together a nonprofit and really felt that that was not going to be a feasible solution in such a short amount of time. So I brought her to the idea of fiscal sponsorship. She was not aware of fiscal sponsorship. We researched fiscal sponsorship, and last month the festival happened without a hitch. She was able to bring all of these American artists, pay these American artists, receive payment from organizations thanks to fiscal sponsorship. So I feel very connected to that project just because I worked with her to make that happen. And I'm incredibly proud that something involving the State Department, the American Embassy in Mexico, a massive festival in Mexico, that so many parts came together just because we were able to navigate something that she wasn't aware of beforehand. So next slide, please. This is Chris Rimple. She's the director of Rad Music, and she is actually the Haitian professional that was mentioned earlier. She is based in the US, but she is Haitian. She is an amazing woman of color who is really fighting tooth and nail, particularly so that women of color have a larger place within arts industry. With Chris, I also met her at this at the APAP event, not at the Latinx professionals, but just through the conference itself. And so even though Chris is not located in Illinois, she lives between Arkansas and New York for some reason. We went through a lot of things of understanding the difference between for-profit and nonprofit organizations. I found when I was doing my work in Pilsen that this is often something that's really not understood within arts community, what the benefits can be as a nonprofit, understanding that just because you're a nonprofit doesn't mean you don't pay yourself a salary. You can still get a living wage if you're a nonprofit. So explaining the differences, especially fiscally, between the for-profit and the nonprofit, understanding again SAM and GATA certification and the grant prospecting system or process. So next slide. I had some sort of final thoughts that I think really developed throughout the process of working with the Community Navigator program. The first is that there is no singular solution that works for all industries and communities. I always knew sort of implicitly how left behind our communities are. I think this really brought it to the forefront for me. I mean, it was really just working with people and seeing that they never had access to really basic information about how they can run their organizations or advocate for themselves as small businesses. It stuck with me and will continue to stick with me and inform future work. I think that longevity and persistence of support is critical to the success of our assistance. The three people that I brought up for you are people I have met with multiple times, are people who are comfortable picking up the phone and calling me and asking me their questions. And I feel like a lot of times when we just have large institutions sort of addressing these issues for small businesses, that feeling of connectedness, that feeling of being able to go to somebody when you have a question just doesn't really exist. And then my last thought was we need to understand that communities of color require more assistance because of historic inequities that still keep our communities from prospering. I feel like this is another thing that I kind of implicitly knew coming into this project. but I feel like it stands out even more having met the people that I've met, having discussed a lot of their issues. And I think our government in particular has to put a lot more emphasis on understanding the needs of communities of color, and understanding that that the services and the assistance that they provide them is not always the same as when you're dealing with a majority community, the white community. They are different needs, and we are fighting, different obstacles. So with that, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you. That was great. Awesome stuff. Lots of new and good information. Congratulations on all of that. I was hearing about it as it was happening, but now this is great. Okay, without further ado, and last but not least, Otis Monroe of the Monroe Foundation.
Oh, you're muted, Otis.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
I'm Otis Monroe with the Monroe Foundation, and our effective role, we hope, with the Community Navigator program was to work with individuals whose background has been preventing them from attaining a licensing or starting a business that would be occupational friendly or licensing friendly. So during the term of the project, we have focused principally on individuals who wanted to start careers either as barbers or hairstylists. And so we collaborated with several barbershops and beauty salons on the south side of Chicago and held, in collaboration with Cabrini Green Legal Aid and Legal Aid Chicago, several what we call background-friendly occupational licensing sessions at those barbershops or beauty shops. And as a result of, and we combined those sessions with our pre-rap sheet day session. So we've touched during the course of the contract about 300 individuals, and we currently have about 30 that are in our TAQ. In fact, on Saturday of the 18th, we're facilitating a session with an additional 25 individuals who participated in our most recent rap sheet day, which was on November 6th, that have expressed interest in identifying business licensing opportunities that would account for their background. And we're facilitating that with Legal Aid Chicago. But our last open session will be on December 2nd at our Project Hub in Inglewood at 6455 South Peoria. Our additional partner has been Joseph Carr and Associates, with whom we have been referring individuals that we've screened and worked with and identified as having a commitment and promising potential to go into business for themselves. Again, mostly in the hair, styling, barbering occupations. So we refer them to Joseph and Associates for constructing their LLCs, which we underwrite, and then we assist them with opening their bank accounts. I originally had two of the individuals scheduled to come on and speak to their work, but the good thing about it is they're working. So that's a good thing about it. In 2024, we want to move them towards licensing, obtaining their business licensing so that they can possibly open a shop if the opportunity presents itself at the airports. We've been in continued conversation with Jamie Reed, the commissioner, about how to facilitate that in the concession occupations, as well as opportunities at the Park District and the city festivals and events. So making sure that they have the appropriate city licensing and certifications that require. And when I say certifications, I'm not necessarily speaking of NWDBE, because at this initial point in their existence, they wouldn't be ready for that. But licensing or food service certification, food handler licensing certification, many of them will be. And that's the secondary occupation, food service as well. So that's my report. I'm sorry I don't have a beautiful PowerPoint presentation, but actually been pretty busy doing the work as the rest of you have. I just haven't had a chance to sit down and put a lot of this to paper, because as I think Malcolm said earlier, it's working with people is time consuming. Yes, it is. So that's my report.
We didn't choose you, Otis, because of your presentations. We chose you because of your work and effort and fight. So
yes.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Otis.
Awesome. Awesome job. Good stuff.
Yes. So if anybody wants to follow up with any of the spokes, I know it's a lot of information, a lot of different areas of expertise. We encourage you to provide your emails. I believe everyone registered, we have your email. And so we can, at the end of the meeting, we'll be, reaching back out to you. And then you, of course, should reach back out. If there's something in particular that struck a nerve with you, let us know. Beverly is an awesome contact. She can follow up with you on all these different levels. Who you want to really reach back out to as well. She can put you in touch with them. I don't want you to feel like this is one and done and it's over. No, this is the beginning. So let us know how we can, push the envelope for you.
You hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
The lady from the state's attorney's office, is she still on?
Miss New?
I need her contact information, because we've been trying. One of the things we want to do with the individuals that we're working with that's in our TAQ, setting up their businesses, we have their rap sheets, and we've been trying to get in front of someone with the state's attorney's office. We started off the year talking to Bernard Headley, never followed up with us. We wanted to get our rap sheets in front of the state's attorney's office so that we can work with a contact there to determine which individuals the state's attorney's office may potentially challenge and not challenge. And the ones not challenged, that's in our queue, will be the petitions we would follow up. So this has been something we've been trying to do since January. Never got any follow-up. So if this kind lady can send me her information and we can have a dialogue with her, I would be beyond grateful, folks. O Monroe at the MonroeFoundation.org. O Monroe at the MonroeFoundation.org.
We'll put it in the chat, Otis.
Do.
So she can grab it.
That's wonderful. We do have some announcements.
Hello?
If this is the conclusion of our speakers.
Mr. Burkett had his hand raised.
Oh, okay, great.
Hello, everybody. I'm actually John Pettis. I'm actually Tony was having some technical difficulties.
Oh,
so
okay.
Good to meet everybody and see you all again digitally. I know we've met in person before. So yeah, absolutely. Even what Bruce was saying earlier about with what we're doing in the energy sector for us, even as African Americans, is exponentially large. And when I say that, I mean that we've never been in a space like this before. And so to be able to take the information that we're doing here with Chatham and being able to provide solutions, real solutions for what we like to call the energy desert. There's many buildings and many companies that are growing and that are coming into our city. However, our current energy structure cannot supply or contain those buildings right now. And so being in the industry where we are now able to bring energy into our different businesses for African Americans inside the energy desert into the Chatham area, where we need supply of electricity, that is what we're doing. Cypher Select is MBE, and we're pretty much energy as a service, providing energy to a variety of businesses and homes as a service. You can find a lot of our information on the City of Chicago AIS website, the sustainability department, and that's where you'll find a lot of information there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to share my screen here. Hold on one second. Where's my share? Here we go. Can you see that, everyone? All right, perfect. Being vetted by the City of Chicago as one of the companies that have that is able to supply as a minority energy to the city in a way that will give us control and take down costs and provide jobs. The amount of technical work that needs to happen with IT and workers, we're talking about upwards of 34,000 jobs in the near future that we can provide as we keep expanding across the Chicagoland area. So as you'll see, this is how you get there. And then you'll basically type in Cypher Select here in the search option. And then it'll come up right here. And everything about us, a lot of it is private information, but this is the public information that we are able to share. So for the sake of this meeting and some of the jargon that is a part of this language, feel free to read if you want to dive in a little bit more about what we're doing and what we're providing the city of Chicago. I do apologize on Tony's behalf for some of the technical difficulties that he's having, but being able to step in is definitely an honor and a privilege to make sure that we were representing what we're doing here for the Chatham Business Association, as well as the city of Chicago, and for the minorities of our city being able to have a footprint in something that is exponentially and that we can grow within our community, something we can pass down not only to our children, but our children's children, having an impact on their lives. I think that this is our value, and this is what we owe them. Our parents, I know my parents, and they've worked really hard to get us to these places and get us into these meeting spaces. And the fact that we have this organization that allows us to collaborate and come together and bring our specific niches together is really going to help out generations to come. So pretty excited to meet and see everybody again. And that would be the end of what I have for you today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
Give
for
them
this.
all a round of applause. I mean, one of the things this program has done is allow us to collaborate despite our busy schedules. And I think we have a great team that was talented and able to do that. So it's going to open doors for a lot of other funding and collaborative opportunities. I'm a big fan of funding a collab as opposed to us struggling and doing it by ourselves. At least if you're working hard and struggling, it's a little easier to do it with the team as opposed to being lonely, which is why we encourage you as a business owner. We know what that feels like. We're in a not-for-profit business, but you're in a business. You're important to the community. We need you to take advantage of this program while we're in our last quarter. Sign up. It's as simple as reaching out to Beverly, signing the form, and she goes right to work. And we will connect you or get you who you need and what you need. But more importantly, it's a pilot program, but none of us are going anywhere. We're not going out of business. So a lot of us was doing this prior to this program, and I have a feeling it's part of our culture, and in our heart, we'll continue to do it. At Chatham Business Association, we will always support the business community. We've been doing it for over 50 something years, and that won't change. So again, please join me in thanking all our spokes for presenting and taking time and bringing their expertise, and the staff, because Jennifer, Beverly, and them, they work really hard to pull this together. It's not easy, especially when sometimes I'm working them on other projects as well, because while we're blessed to have this grant, this isn't our only program. So that's wonderful. So thank you. We wanted to bring up too on our next membership meeting. I don't know, Charles, if you got the flyer geared up. So on Thursday, we will be doing a workshop about certification. And that's Thursday at the Parkway Ballroom located at 44. I can't see because I'm blind, but that's okay. You see the flyer, we're going to send it out to everybody.
What is it?
4455 South Martin Luther King Drive.
So we're going to talk about certifications and really using it as a tool. It's the process, it's the technical part. You've heard from Justine, Beverly, we can get you certified, but there is an art and dance to using this tool effectively. We're going to talk about that, but more importantly, at our very next membership meeting, which will be in person, you will also hear from Charles Johnson, who is part of the Soda Magic, which is Magic Johnson's business organization, about an opportunity here in Illinois. And one of the things we love about Charles Johnson, he's part of our CBA family, is together we really do know how to incorporate this and make it beneficial for small businesses and plugging people in and meeting them where they are. So first of all, we're going to send this out, see if you can join us at the ballroom. So you'll hear a little bit about the project, but more importantly, I hope you join us at our next in-person membership meeting, which is, give me the date, Jen. I can't think of
Well,
it.
let me clarify on the in-person part. So staff will be in person, but members will not be in person.
It will be virtual.
Yeah.
Okay. So he will be there, and will be there, and you'll have to log on to.
Correct.
But I'm
Right.
going to try if I could correct that. So stay tuned and see if we can all be in person.
Yes.
Because it's just more
Stay tuned.
effective that way. So just stay tuned. But no matter what, put the save a date on your calendar. This is an important project. And at minimum, meet us in person on Thursday at the Parkway Ballroom so you can hear about this opportunity. And we'll also be doing a showcase about certifications and teaming agreements and joint ventures and about this RFP process and how to respond to it. So we'll send this out today and we'll go from there. I know Jennifer.
Everybody would get this flyer today. Your emails.
Announcements.
We do have announcements.
Before
Melinda, are you done? Or you have more to say?
No.
Miss Simone, I see your message. Thank you so much. Once we hear back from the city regarding your certification, I would definitely connect you with Miss Vanessa over there at AbbVie. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank
there you go.
And thank you. I got your message. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you guys.
I know you're so helpful all the time, Bev. Appreciate you.
No problem. All right.
Wonderful.
Go ahead with the announcements.
Hey, Miss Vanessa right now. Vanessa's she's busy, so we don't.
She got.
Look,
get her right now. Yeah, get her right now.
She makes time for me. She makes time.
I put some infrastructure in place, Miss Melinda.
No, you did.
I have to be the first partaker of what I teach, right?
Smart cookie.
And she always makes time for me. So
there you go. Yes, we do have other things, other nuggets of information to share. And thanks again to our spokes. So Charles, go ahead and bring up the flyers that we have prepared for everyone to look at. And this is now available again. Again, everybody here is going to get this information, but we have some flyers to present. You have that ready? And by the way, the NOF will be the Neighborhood Opportunity Fund grants. They will be they'll be opening up, I believe, in December or February, Beverly. NOF?
It is late December. Let me pull it back up to be to be sure.
So you have NOF small, which is up to 250,000, and NOF large up to 5 million. So you basically would find a location that, or if you already have a location, that's really what it hinges on. Where are you going to either uh, open a business? You could even build from ground up, but we need a location, and then from there, Beverly can work with you on your NOF grant application. We've had some pretty good successes in the past, and this is something that you don't want to not at least look at, the NOF. But this is not NOF, what's in front of us. This is SBA. And so since this is an SBA Navigator grant member meeting, I figured, this is something that you guys need to know about, read up about. If you want to start the application process, the information is there below. And again, you're going to get this via email. I wouldn't wait because these things tend to open and then close. So next slide. Yeah, so what businesses and not-for-profits need to apply for an economic injury disaster loan, the EIDL. Remember, this was opened way in the beginning of the pandemic. Well, they reopened it. And this is some of the cheapest money you're going to get. It's a loan, but it's like 3% over 30 years. So you really want to look at this. We're going to give you this information via email. It's not something we can go into in depth right now because it is the conclusion of the meeting. Okay, next slide. Yay, this is the International Downtown Association. This year, they hosted their annual convention. Over 20,000 people from around the world were right here in Chicago. And Chatham was given the honor to give a tour of some of these member chambers from around the world. So we did that. And I just wanted to kind of highlight that, things are happening. Just have to know about it. So we had a bus and they went around Chatham, eastern side of Chatham, which is a small business. We crossed over on the western side of Chatham, which is big box businesses, showed them some of the neighborhood, showed them some of the other stuff that's going on in Chatham. So we were really excited that we got big kudos from the Department of Planning on what we did when those people came to visit us. So way to go, team, on that as well. Okay, next slide. So if you don't know, now you know. Okay, St. Rest Country Kitchen #2. If you didn't see it in the news, they are a part of our SSA 51, which is we are the service provider. Chatham Business Association manages an SSA 51. This business is within our SSA. It's right across from the old Target, which is now the Discover Center. If you want to go, there's the address. Please visit them. They have awesome food, as you can see by the little plates there, celebrating 50 years of delicious memories. This is the oldest soul food restaurant in Chicago, right here in Chatham. So we just wanted to give them a little shout out as well. They are our business of the month for November. And they did suffer a little bit with the pandemic. The Mr. Coffee, the founder, unfortunately, he did pass during the pandemic, and they suffered immensely, just, physical pain and financial pain, but they came through it and they're still here. And please support them because the food is awesome. Okay, Danielle Coffee, she said she would be joining us. I'm not sure she was able to join us, but go support, please do. Okay, next slide. Okay, something we want to share with you that's going to be popping up. It's going to start in Chatham because that's our home base for SSA 51. But this is something the city's looking at. This is maybe something that around all of the different communities that have high vacancies in their business corridors could possibly adopt. We're starting at Chatham Business Association. This is something of our baby called Building to Business. It's a vacancy abatement program. So when there are businesses that are shuttered or that look to have nothing going on, it's a blight, and it kind of brings everything down. And we want to just think about, how do we get the property owners engaged? And that's really what this abatement program is going to do. It's going to get the property owner engaged, and we're going to throw resources at the property owner and potential people who want to lease or rent the building. So all throughout 2023, it's going to start out maybe late to mid Q1 of 2024. You're going to see signs in windows of businesses that are vacant, and those owners are going to be looking for people to rent those buildings. And then once that match is made, Chatham Business Association will help. We will assist. We can't promise you anything, but we will assist and throw resources at that happening. Do you need a facade? Does it need a complete rehab? Does it need a new roof? We're going to be putting together resources so that those relationships can grow. Okay, next slide.
Can I say one thing before you move on? One of the
Sure.
main things we've already done is we have commissioned a marketing study. And that marketing study is going to tell us what businesses, where people within a 5 to 10 mile radius are spending money on. And our goal with this abatement is not only just to get the property leased, but if people are buying, which, we discovered, some of them are buying jewelry, they're buying luggage, they're spending the money and going just 5 or 10 minutes away. We want to reach out to other businesses and encourage them to either set up a second shop here or talk to some of our existing businesses to show them, so that we can make sure that if we will support the folks who bring the type of businesses, so that we can stop that leakage of spending or people going just 5 or 10 miles radius away from us to buy the same thing simply because we don't have it here. And the good news is Chatham has a lot. I mean, you can get your car washed, popcorn. There's a lot you can get here in the area, but there are some things that are missing that, again, we're going on. We've got experts in to tell us exactly where they're spending it, what they're spending it on, where they're shopping. And our goal with this abatement program is to match those dollars so that we can get that money back in our community, so that you're not just committing to a business and a space. We want to make sure you're profitable and successful at it.
Right. Absolutely. Okay. Next slide. And so that's really all we have to say, but we did definitely want to give thanks for everyone here, for just life in general, to be able to talk about these things and to be on a plan of advancement. So next week is Thanksgiving. So we want to wish everyone a prosperous and healthy Thanksgiving and to give thanks. And we certainly thank you. And that's all I have. Does somebody have anything else? Please share.
Well, hi again. Melinda, here's something we should consider. To your point about commissioning a study, we should consider a study as to the overall effectiveness of the pilot program and use that as a tool to attract, whether it's continued support from SBA, as well as identify other potential support. Has that been a thought?
Yeah, actually the SBA is as a hub, they have us immersed in evaluating the program, what it should do, where it should go, and we also are looking at other funding opportunities that have been brought to CBA to see if it could support the collaborative.
Are any of the financial institutions, foundations, are you talking with any of them about supporting some aspect of this work, particularly starting with Fifth Third Bank, since you have a board member that's on there? Have you met Robert McGee?
Oh yeah, we know Robert.
Sure you
You
do.
know, yeah. But Mr. Monroe, the banks are your specialty and those foundations. So
Well, well, yes. Uh, Not trying to put a damper on the convening, but when we've had convenings with the foundations most recently, I send the stuff out, nobody responds. I mean, we had a very excellent meeting August 22nd with the Field Foundation. And when I send this information out, I always get the impression people just look at it and they scratch their heads, or they just, oh, it's Otis again, delete. I never know, because when you got the president of a foundation in the community, and I'm saying, hey, be in this room, I never understand why the response is no response, if any response at all. I think of one group that's doing a capital campaign and didn't think it was worth their time to come, even though they're up the street. And they said, well, the Field Foundation doesn't do capital campaigns. But I already did the pre-discussion. So they were interested. My point to this here, I share what we're doing all the time. I have to admit, for most of the spokes, I never know what they're doing, but I share my information. We had a whole lot of money this year to help folks with backgrounds. We paid for legal services. I implored, I begged, please forward this out to the spokes, because I don't have their email, and I just never got the response. So I think I could have been more effective for our spokes if they had individuals who are background impaired, but I just didn't feel confident the information was getting out there. And when I try to position us lastly with the banks and the financial institution, we need to have that as a strategy, so that I'm not sticking myself out there. Because Rob McGee is not particularly fond of me, for, to him, probably legitimate reasons from his former mutations of a cycle in the banking community. But that doesn't mean I can't give you strategy. So I remain open to strategy around how to approach some of these things, but sometimes I may not necessarily need to be the face of the discussion, but give people the background, how to approach Citibank. They got a new person leading that. Vanessa and I will be meeting with George Wright, who used to be at Citibank. He's now with the Chicago Cook Workforce Initiative, and he's talking about looking for new grantees. And I guess as I get older and forced to be a little more calmer, my best help to all of us is to be in the background and feed you this voluminous information that I have about who's who, what's what, and what the possible approach is. But when I bring those foundations to the community and Black folks don't respond, that freaks me out, because I'm saying, why? I got the president of the foundation in the community.
Well, Otis, this is the thing. Every Wednesday, I believe they talk about this on the spokes quite a bit. So first of all, we'll carry it over to there. The second thing is, we do hear and appreciate, I think, with the state bringing in so much with the solar funding and trying to, we're all trying to, Vanessa knows this, I think we're all working her to death. It's not that it's falling on deaf ears. It's just, as usual, we're all organizations probably doing work and keeping it and hoping that, the fact that you are bringing them in the room, you're representing the collaborative. But we will talk about this more in depth at our spoke meeting, which is tomorrow, I think at 1:00.
Yes, I'll be it. Yeah.
Okay. And we'll figure that out. So with that being said, I think we're going to pull this meeting to a stop, and thank everybody for, again, giving us your time this morning. Thanks our spokesperson, thanks our staff, and we're just going to call it a day for now.
Yeah, December 12th, next member meeting, December 12th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
Beverly, what do you
All
say?
right.
Get back to work.
Thanks,
Get back to
everyone.
work, guys. Thanks for
Have a good
joining
one,
us.
everybody.
Peace out, everybody.
Great meeting. Thanks, Harold.
If you
Thanks
guys
to all.
need anything, just email me and let me know what you need.